Three, two, one.
I was told to say one Mississippi, two Mississippi, and hit it with a three Mississippi.
No, you just got to give a silent break for a couple seconds so I can edit it. You need to count that in your head. All right, let's go.
Howdy ho, everyone. I'm Fox. This is Lane. Also, is my dad. What was that?
I think it took a camera picture.
All right. Well, we got a camera
Cool.
picture for this second episode. So how about you break it down, Dad?
All right. Well, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Bandit Saloon. We hope you're going to come inside and enjoy the show. Sit down and relax with us. We got one that I've been talking to Fox about for over a week now. That I am unbelievably excited to talk with him about and discuss and give an opinion about, because it's a doozy, and he's got a good one too. So we're very excited. So hopefully you grab a drink, enjoy, and cheers with us. And here's to the show.
This protein's kind of gross. Boom.
All right, here we go for story number one. And like I told you, this one I've been waiting for a while. I really had a hard time kind of not talking to Fox about it, or really anybody. Even I didn't even talk to my wife about it.
Now, he's been hinting at it like all the past like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I found this story, debated on it being the first one, but I started this one and the number 2 show. It's a lot of shit, so I thought it'd be fun.
We gotta have viewer retention, so we gotta have a story that's like bang, come back.
So this one I'm interested in because it's a relationship when it's a husband and wife situation, which, again, because I've been married for 29 years, I feel like I have a place to stand on to give my opinion. And then secondly, the OP is voted asshole, and I couldn't agree more. I couldn't disagree more.
Let's see if
This is going to be one of those rare times, I think, when you get in Storyland of Reddit that you disagree with the vote, and I disagree with the vote on this one. So here we go. It's not too long, but we're going to be breaking it down a little bit. All right. My husband, 40 male, was recently asked by his 52-year-old female boss if she could take him out for lunch at Hell's Kitchen. Just in case everybody lives in the dark, Hell's Kitchen's a big-time restaurant by Gordon Ramsay in Vegas. It's very expensive. It's not a cheap
dollar sign.
Yeah.
This is like
big time
$300 steak.
Yeah, it's a really special occasion for you to go. So that's kind of where the story is based on, and why that is a part of it, of this situation. I admittedly was a little upset to hear that he had taken her up on this offer, because him and I always planned to go to Hell's Kitchen together. We watched the show together. We're both fans of Gordon Ramsay, and we always talked about going together for the first time one day. The only issue was money saving up for it, but she can afford it easily. His boss lost her...
You got an ad.
Yeah, pop-up ad, what are you going to do? All right. His boss lost her husband unexpectedly a few years ago and has one son who she doesn't get along with. She is very attractive for her age and seems to really favor my husband. Am I the asshole for getting upset with him for accepting this offer, or am I being jealous and dramatic? We've been arguing about it for a couple of days now. Okay, so in this case here, there is an edit, and I'm going to read the edit first because I think it matters to the opinion.
Oh, the edits.
And then it's not an update. Sometimes I'm not sure about finding the updates or anything with it. This one was posted a while ago, so technically it's a month, because I've kind of been putting it in my back pocket.
That's a whole while on the internet.
Yeah. So edit to add. Thanks for all the responses. I'm 4 years younger than him and in the same field of work. Some additional info is it is not a work lunch. It is just because, and she asked him because she knows he just really wants to go. It is not during business hours. It's on their own time. She's bringing him to show her appreciation for doing a great job at work. There is no promotion on the line. He's capped out, basically. After reading all the comments, I have to say I am definitely more disappointed about the fact that my husband and I had planned to experience it together for the first time when we had extra funds. I cannot go as I will be out of town that day with family. However, I was also not invited. Important point. I was not invited to begin with. She is paying for the whole meal out of her own pocket, and I will admit that yes, I am wary and a bit jealous of the whole situation. My husband has decided he is definitely going. He has always been faithful that I know of, so it's more hurtful that we're supposed to go experience it together. Okay, so she's
This
asking
person is rated the asshole.
she's asking if she is the asshole. She's not asking if her husband is. She's asking if she is, because that's am I the asshole for this? So she's asking am I. She's not asking is he. She's asking am I. So before I break this down in a few different parts, as I'm going to, because there's a couple different levels to this opinion, Fox.
No, no, she ain't the asshole. I see where she's coming from because she's not coming from it from like a side of mistrusting her husband and thinking that he's going on this because this is a date. She's just upset that he is choosing to go to like their dream spot without her.
Right.
I don't think OP would be mad if she was invited.
Well, obviously not.
Exactly.
Is obviously not.
So I cannot fathom how people think she's the asshole for that. She's overlooking the fact that the boss is probably trying to get at her husband.
Okay, so here is the reason that what is it?
Some of these comments have got to tell you, like,
So
yeah, you are the asshole.
this is where this is where some of them think that the asshole. Not sure what you expect him to do here. Turning down his boss because his wife is jealous is not a good career move. Like others have said, it doesn't seem to be about the restaurant and more about insecurity you have with this woman.
I couldn't disagree more with that one either, because that comment it goes against what I just said. In that post, she's not going like, yeah, this boss is trying to get at my husband, and I just don't want him to do that. No, she just wants to go to Hell's Kitchen with him as a couple for the first time. If they had gone before, I don't think she would have had a problem.
I agree with you. I
So
completely agree with you.
I don't think OP's an asshole even remotely. OP's being pretty nice about it.
Well, I understand the apprehension. So I'm again, I have kind of a different way that I want to break this down on a couple different levels.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion of what's going on in this situation. But I agree, LP is not the asshole at all. Even if it is a jealousy thing, let's say that that's what it is. Let's say if she's jealous of the woman, which at this point she has no reason to be. She said she trusts her husband, but there obviously the fact that she brought up the woman's attractive, even if she's a little bit older, she is attractive. She's got money. Again, money can kind of make you do dumb shit. But there's not. I didn't pick up on real jealousy around that.
No.
Okay, so I am a proud father in this moment, in my opinion. I'm a proud father again to have you give the opinion that I think most of the people miss the mark as to what the issue is here.
Boom, 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 boom. I'm smart. I'm smarter than most people, especially Redditors.
So to me, the issue is here that the husband's is going to complete one of their their life goals, independently.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I have the huge issue with this, is that they had as a goal they're going to set aside money and one day they're going to splurge just like they were going on a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to splurge and go to this restaurant, and yet he decided that because the boss invited him that he's going to go. Now, do I understand him wanting to go? Absolutely. That's not. We're not going to sit and discuss if this restaurant's the bomb or not, because I'm sure that it is. I haven't been.
Yeah, neither of us know.
Yeah, we don't know.
We're normal people, so we don't have that money.
My daughter and your sister know, but we don't. We don't. The two of us don't know that yet. So that aspect, that's where I have the issue. I would maybe call her an asshole if it was a situation where she was just taking him to Applebee's, Chili's,
yeah,
or maybe even Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, or something of that
more affordable.
Yeah. Well, no, not even that. Just more, whatever. Just kind of taking them to you could go to a nice place, a steakhouse. You could go, a nice steakhouse. I didn't get the feeling from this. Again, I'm putting my projection, giving my opinion. I didn't give the opinion that, or I didn't give the thought that OP was really mad about necessarily going out. It does bother her a little. They're going after hours, which again, something else we're going to break down here in a minute. And then the other aspect was he is completing a goal without her,
Mm-hmm.
which is bullshit.
The goal they set together.
How in the world can you think this woman's an asshole when the husband is completing one of their goals without her? Without her. Again, I think the situation is different. She mentioned that she's going to be out of town for this thing anyways, but she wasn't invited. So I honestly don't know that she should have mentioned that. She just should have said she wasn't invited. So, you know, my wife and I had this situation years ago. I worked for a company. I did a lot of traveling for years, and I worked for a company that we were in all 50 states, Puerto Rico, Canada. So I did a lot of traveling. And one of the things my wife and I set as a goal is we wanted to go to Hawaii together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we wanted that to be a life goal. We wanted to go to Hawaii. Well, situation came up that I was in California doing training, and the shit was hitting the fan about a customer in Hawaii. So I get a phone call and say, "We need to fly you to Hawaii. You got to go take care of this crap right now. The local person can't handle it. They can't do it." So the first phone call I made was to my wife and discussed it with her.
Mm-hmm.
And if she had been really upset about me going, granted I was only going overnight, but I'd never been to Hawaii. We wanted to go. It was something we wanted to do. I'd never been. So I wasn't going to say yes to that without discussing it with her.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complete one of our life's goal without her. I genuinely had heartache that I had to go do this. Simply not because all of a sudden I was supposed to drive home that night. That was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the other aspect that I had to that I was going somewhere that was a life's goal, that was more my heartache. It wasn't the fact that I was going to be gone for 2 more days because I had to fly. I flew out it was like a Thursday. I flew out Friday morning and flew home Friday night. Like I left first flight Friday morning, came home Saturday. I came home Saturday morning. So, I stayed overnight. It was just, wasn't on the main island. I was just in Maui, but still, I was going to Hawaii without.
Still Hawaii.
I was completing a life goal.
Exactly.
Okay, without my wife, and we had a discussion about it. I ended up going because really there wasn't a choice. But if she had really said, "I don't want you to go," I would have told my company no. I would have,
Mm-hmm.
and quite frankly, Uncle Edward would have probably understood it and been okay with it and been fine with it. So, but I ended up going. We ended up the next year. We ended up going.
Yeah.
We ended up going the next 2 years actually. So we did end up getting there. But my first trip there was alone without her, and that was a heartache. That was a struggle to enjoy being there because she wasn't there with me. And that's where I kind of feel for the lady in this and OP in this, in the sense of she's struggling with the fact that he's completing a goal. Okay. So to me, that is not an asshole. Now, there is a second layer to this. Now you break down, now the second part of this, you break down that it's a female boss. Ages are close. I understand, 52 and 40, that's not horribly far apart. 52 is not that old. Thank you. And so it's not horribly far apart. Easily something could happen if it did. She may admire him. Now, the wife says she admires him. Now, he may be an ass kicker at work, doing a great job, so she appreciates it. There might not be any romantic feelings there, but there is an aspect that he, in essence, is going on a date. Take out the Hell's Kitchen from it. He's going on a date with his boss after hours. There is an aspect of that's kind of out of bounds. Sorry.
A little. That's like the receiver goes up for the catch. The line's right here, and they're like toe touches. Still technically out of bounds. Even with the trust in your partner, there is still another player, another dancer that maybe you don't trust because it doesn't sound like she knows her very well. So it's just kind of like, I still don't even think OP's the asshole if that was the reason. If the reason was like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable with him going out with her. Cool. You're completely fair in that.
But she didn't really say that.
She didn't. It wasn't because it was her boss. It was because it was going to Hell's Kitchen.
Correct. There is an underlying current that there is some. She does find it a little weird that it is a female boss, male worker, going out to dinner after hours, which, by the way, Hell's Kitchen is not a 30-minute meal.
No.
You're there for a while.
Experience.
Yeah. It's a whole thing. So you don't just show up at 6 o'clock and leave at 7. You show up at 6 and leave at 9, 10, somewhere in there. So it's not just a quick thing. And on top of it, I think I truly believe that the reason she mentioned the fact that she went out of town when she really didn't need to, that she wasn't going to be in town, was because that opens up to him having a lot of time, and he can spend a lot of time, do something afterwards. They can go get ice cream. They can go, whatever. Now, I'm not saying he's going to. Not again. There's no update that we've seen in there. I kind of, again, part of the reason I was kind of holding out, I was kind of hoping out for an update to kind of see what happened.
Yeah.
Like update
kinda
one,
disappointing
we're
there is-
divorced. I told him to fuck off.
He blew it all up.
But listen, I think this is a two-part question. Part one, is it right for him to do a life goal without her?
No.
Part two, is it appropriate that he's going on a dinner date when his wife's out of town with his female boss?
That one gets iffy, but I would say no. I still feel like it's real close to being in bounds, but it's pretty out of bounds still.
I think so too. I know stuff gets touchy because in my line of work over years and years, I've had women around me all the time. I have women that I have to do that. It's not have to do it. I have women that I work with at all levels. I have higher, lower, and the company I'm at now, I definitely have higher, definitely have lower. Have across the thing. I have people women that I manage. I'm type thing, higher level women that I deal with. I'm not threatened by that. I'm not bothered by it. But there are boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
There are boundaries, and yes, they are a little bit different than my male coworkers. My male coworkers, if I felt so with a couple of them, I felt like going out and have beers with them. It wouldn't be a problem, but it would be inappropriate for me to, even if I consider them buddies, to go out and have beers. Now, let me preface this also by saying the boundaries change a little bit when you're talking about someone that's gay, someone that's straight. We're talking about straight male, straight women.
That will always blur the lines.
There's women in my life that are gay, and there wouldn't be any problem with me hanging out with them. That changes things when it's like that. I have an ignorant old school thing, as I've read. It seems to be that I've seen online a few times people discussing my old views that I don't think men and women can be friends. Straight men, straight women, I don't believe can be just friends. There's always an undercurrent of something there, always an undercurrent of something that possibly happened. And call it what you will, call me ignorant. I'm ignorant. I believe fully that gay men and straight women can be friends, and are, absolutely. But it gets into
little vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so. The point we're talking about with men and women is there is that aspect that I understand that men and women can be friends.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that they are, and you can have work relationships that are different than friendships. You can have work friendships. You can have work relationships. You get the jokes of work wife, type thing, which is a dumb joke, because there's a lot of times if men and women are constantly working together, that's your wife, that's your husband, ha ha. As long as that stays within the confines of the four walls of work,
Still
fine.
Weird. My work wife is my friend Tyler.
That's not a work wife. That's dude. But as you get in the corporate world, which I'm in, you're going to have a lot of men and women, and you have to be able to get along with them. You just absolutely do. And can a group of men and we go out to happy hours all the time. It's different when it's a large group. Okay, we're not
group
talking
settings
about
are always going to be different.
We're talking about one-on-one. I can in a group go out with whoever and have beers and have whatever. Great, no problem. The issue lies when it's one-on-one. That's where the issue lies. So this story to me is two levels. Okay, it is the level of the life goal being achieved without the wife. I don't care what it is. If you're still married, you can't complete life goals together. Think about one of the we here both really love Parks and Rec. Okay, we watch Parks and Rec. Okay, so you got Andy and April. One day they decide they're going to do his bucket list. But what did they do? They did it together.
They did it all together.
They did it all together. That is no longer Andy's bucket list. That was Andy and April's bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Dwyer's bucket list. I don't know if she takes his last name, but anyways, that was the Andy and April bucket list. And for that to be like that, that's what has to happen when you get married. Okay, you're a partnership. You are absolutely a partnership. You cannot have a working, successful marriage where one thinks one is more important than the other. It's not going to happen. It is absolutely not going to happen. You have to be a partnership. Things that are you don't have a lot of things that are just yours. Yeah, you have your TV shows that you watch once in a while. Like, you know, my wife doesn't. She doesn't always love the shows that I watch. I don't love the shows she watches, and that's perfectly fine. We have our own things as well, but you have to have a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And this, to me, on two different levels, is not a partnership. His excitement to go to Hell's Kitchen is blinding him to the truth. And the thing that I was looking for the update is I was curious if when he went to Hell's Kitchen, when he got done, if he regretted going.
Mm-hmm.
Like came back and said,
Seeing
the
his
food was
reaction
not
to it.
as good without you. It was uncomfortable. I didn't like it. It just, oh, I'm so sorry. I mean, I was curious if he's going to.
Mm.
I don't know how soon after they were going to Hell's Kitchen, but I don't know. I was hoping for an update like that, and that the guy wasn't a total ass. To me, this guy's an ass. The
No,
guy,
yeah, the dude's an ass.
the husband is an asshole. No question about it.
You're picking just gourmet food over your partner's comfortability, which is odd.
Yeah, and I just don't see. You know, again, it gets into the touchiness of relationships on different levels. And my opinion, which anybody that knows me knows I love everybody. There's nobody that I'm ignorant to. There's people that can piss me off. There's people that I've told to get lost. There's people I have pushed people out of my life. There's no question. But for the most part, I don't care about anything as long as you're a good person. I feel our house is pretty open. It's pretty welcoming. I feel like all the friends, no matter what they are comfortable here, and that's the way it has to be. And to me, in this case, this person, this person is not gelling with their partner, the husband, and the wife has legitimate concerns.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not really even going to get into the cheating aspect of it because that's to me
That's a whole other
to
can
me
of worms with it.
to me the life goal, just doing the life goal without your partner is unacceptable. Just is.
Yeah, that's enough to
Sorry,
declare you as that.
it just is. You are not. I will say for sure. Verdict:
Not the asshole.
not the asshole.
All right, now we're on to round two. My story, I think mine was unanimously not the asshole. So this is a nice little dichotomy we got. Sadly, I don't think you're going to disagree.
It's
just
pretty
prefacing
rare.
this with that now. It's rare that the Redditors, I see you, I'm looking at you. Redditors, you're not always wrong. You're only sometimes wrong, and that's what that last story shows. This story will show that you're right.
Yeah, it's rare. It's rare to find one that you disagree with. And like I said, I wholeheartedly disagree with that last one. So that story angers me, and so I'm sorry I can't stop talking about it. But
You're all good.
we're on to story number 2. Fox's turn. Here we go.
Awesome. Am I the a-hole for saying no to my girlfriend's quote unquote tradition? What do you think? What do you think it's going to be? Do you think he's going to be the asshole or not the asshole?
Saying no to the girlfriend's tradition.
Mm-hmm.
I that's a tough one to say without knowing the story, because there's
Take a
certain
gamble.
tradition. Again, if you're going to make this long term, then you need to get on board with traditions or find some way to create your own.
So are you saying he's probably the a-hole?
I'm guessing probably yes.
Okay.
But I'll wait to see the judgment. But by that, I think you need to get involved with your future wife, future girlfriend, if you future fiance. You got to get involved with her traditions. They got to become part of your life. She's got to get involved with some of yours, mind you, too.
Well, yeah, it's got to be a two-way street.
It's a two-way street. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Throwaway account. Period. I, male 30, lost my younger brother when I was 22. He had cancer and fought very hard. Ever since, I've been donating blood on the anniversary of his death every year. I take the day off from work, visit his grave, donate blood, and then come home, relax, and watch his favorite movie. I know it's a simple, personal tradition, but it means a lot to me. My girlfriend of 9 months, Anna, female 31, asked if I could meet her and her mom. I have met her many times before, and it wasn't the meet the parents for the first time situation. for lunch yesterday. I told her no and explained again about what I do on my brother's death anniversary. She got upset and said, well, it's my tradition to have lunch with my mom every time she's in town, and she really wanted to see you. You can do your stupid blood donation tradition any day. There's more. This story keeps going.
It ends there for me, by the way.
Exactly. That decided it. But
Yep.
There's more. I explained to her that it's not just about the blood donation. Later in the evening, while I was resting and watching my brother's favorite movie, she texted me again, asking me to join them. I reiterated that I really didn't want to go and hang out with her mom next time. Oh, wait. Sorry, I said that wrong. She texted me again, asking me to join them. I reiterated that I really didn't want to and would hang out with her mom next time. She replied that I had embarrassed her in front of her mom and my selfishness and laziness. Since then, she's been distant. Do I owe her an apology? Am I the a-hole? There is an update. I don't think this update is going to sway your decision, so I'm just going to read it.
The update better be I told her to jump on a leg.
It's close.
Okay.
The update. I texted her that we needed to talk. She never replied. She just blocked me on everything. Social media and WhatsApp. WhatsApp is crazy. Her best friend, who was following me on Instagram, blocked me too. I'm not sad. I wanted to end it anyways. So thank you for your support, everyone. I really appreciate your kind comments. Some users suggested that my brother/remembrance tradition saved me from getting serious with her and a lifetime of misery, and it made me smile. Thank you again.
Wow.
Let's just read that sentence again.
That's a ridiculous.
Well, it's my tradition to have lunch with my mom every time she's in town. This is something that happens multiple times, probably a year.
That's not a tradition.
You can do your stupid blood donation tradition any day.
All right, so
Wow.
let's get into a couple things. So first of all, one of the things I listen to Reddit stories and read Reddit stories all the time now. That's kind of like my podcast. I got to figure out how to find some of these stories that I listen to because they're just ridiculous. But in this story here, the one thing that drives me crazy is that the guy was like, "Oh, we need to talk after that was done." The minute she said, "My tradition with my mom is to have lunch with her every time. You can do your stupid traditions another time," it's over.
Yeah,
It's over.
you just blatantly disrespected.
I don't care who you are. You deserve better. I mean that sentence alone is worth breaking up. I mean, the one thing that I will agree with when a lot of these Reddits where they've been together for a long time and they end up breaking up, I understand that it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. Regardless of the reason why you're breaking up, I know sometimes they put in, she did this, he did this, she did that, blah blah blah. But it was, it did something that made them so mad they don't care anymore. Well, that's not true. I don't care. I don't care whatever. If you've been there for multiple years, okay, 2 months, we're not talking multiple years, you're going to be sad that it's ended. But on the same sense, you have to wonder, how long were they together?
9 months.
Okay, so they weren't together horribly long.
They were together long enough if they had a child at the start,
yeah, but
had the baby.
They were together long enough, and she thinks the brother's death is a joke. I mean, obviously
that's crazy.
Obviously, it's the first time it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
They think and she thinks it's a joke. That's just sad. I mean, man, dude, you're so lucky you got out of it. I don't know why you, in your update, you would even put that you have to talk. Why? If she's going to be that selfish and ridiculous about a situation like that, that's something that's heartwarming to you. There's people that do that for their pets. I mean,
exactly.
I'm not saying
valid in that.
Yes, you have traditions with your pets that have passed. I mean, let alone a brother that's passed. A brother that, I mean, I can't even fathom that. I mean, you like the brother enough to you do something every year on their birthday, on their death, on their birthday, whatever it may be, celebrating it. I think it's a great way to remember your brother that you're donating blood, because obviously he died. He
died of cancer, but
yeah, so he needed
probably
blood.
Leukemia.
Yeah, so he needed blood. So that's a great way to honor his memory, and to watch a favorite movie of his. That's a great way to honor him.
Mm-hmm.
Spend time with him. I hope you keep that up for your life. I mean, that's a big deal.
And I hope your next partner joins you.
Yeah.
I think what I was appalled by the most was that the girlfriend didn't tell her mom. The girlfriend probably did tell her mom and told her what is happening, and the mom probably agreed with her, which is wild, wild that you go into like Applebee's or a cafe is more important than him honoring his brother, which I have two brothers. I love them dearly. They're assholes, but
Can be.
but I I don't know what I'd do without them, you know. And they were my first friends. They are still my friends. So to lose one is unfathomable, and to have someone disrespect the honoring of them. Hell, my brothers are both alive, but if I had a little tradition with the two of them, and I was told that it's a dumb little tradition, I'd look at you and tell you to f off, get out of my face, no matter who you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So to add in that he is honoring a loved one that they've passed, which is already hard enough, that he has an honorable like remembrance of them, and to just go, well, my croissants and coffee are more important. You should be here.
But it just the level of disrespect there. I mean, she is putting precedence on the relationships that she's the most important one in that relationship. Again, you want a successful relationship, you can't have that.
Nope, you are.
You just can't. You are absolutely equals, and however you decide you're going to be equal, that yes, you can have a stay-at-home wife, a stay-at-home husband. How that equality is divided is between you and your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and but it needs to be equal amount of work. And what is considered equal is a discussion you have to have,
Mm-hmm.
or a workout. You know, your mom and I have stuff that's equal. We have the stuff that, there's certain things that I do that she does. We split down the middle, um, and it worked for us.
Mm-hmm.
There's times it wasn't equal. I'm not saying I wasn't perfect. I have not been. I do not want to sell myself as being perfect in our relationship.
Well,
There's been a lot of struggles, but we're still together after 29 years. So we've worked them out. We get through them. A lot of forgiveness on her part, I will say, but we've worked through them. We're still together, and but the equality is what makes the relationship. It absolutely does. Goals together, time together, dates together. Um, you know,
dates not with your older boss to a certain restaurant you wanted to go for a long time. We had an underlying theme for these two, and I didn't realize that.
no, the relationship thing is something that comes up, and again, that the reason that the first story angers me is because it's a bit close to home, but it's also a case of I want every relationship to succeed. I want the relationship that all my kids are in right now to be successful. I like the people that they've chosen at this point in their life, and I think they'll be great life partners. And I hope things work out for them, and I root for them in whatever way they define their relationship. If they don't get married, fine. As long as their relationship to them is defined and works for them, I don't care. I don't give a crap. I just want my kids happy. That that's the only thing that matters in the end. So the aspect with this is you're 9 months in and she's already being a bitch. In my opinion, that's a bitch move because she's disrespecting you,
Mm-hmm.
making her more important. Then you're out. You're done. You know, there's with that tradition you have. There's almost to me, there's no excuse that she doesn't allow you to have that. Now, maybe if you told her I don't want you to be a part of it, then you're an asshole. But in this case, you are absolutely her. That's her mom. A tradition with your mom coming down. What the hell is that? That's bullshit.
That's
So
not a tradition. That's just kind of going out with your mom when she's in town. That is it. I wouldn't call that a tradition unless it lands on the same exact days every year.
yeah, if it's her birthday, if the brother's death birthday again, I can't remember if it was his death or birthday.
It's honoring his death.
Death. Okay, so it's death. If the death and her birthday are the same day, then you've got to sit down and have a discussion about it.
You
Okay?
kind of got to split your time.
That would be something you need to figure out. Maybe you do, her birthday the day before or his death the day before, something, whatever. But you need to have that worked out in tradition to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Every tradition you have needs to be worked out ahead of time. But I doubt the day before you were like, oh, by the way, tomorrow I'm doing this on my brother's death. I'm sure it's something you explained to her.
Mm-hmm.
It probably came up early on in your guys' relationship, I would think. I understand it's not easy for you to talk about, but as you're opening up feelings, that's a very important part of your past. And so that's something I'm sure you would share pretty early on. At least I'd make that assumption. We're not getting into that with the story, but my assumption. So she should understand the importance of that in your life. And for her to treat it that way just shows she is not respecting you and doesn't see you being an important person in her life.
And she sucks.
She does. She's bad. So good riddance. Goodbye. Final verdict.
OP ain't the asshole.
Amen to that.
Jesus.
I do have to say that title is extremely misleading and a dumbass title.
That's the point of the title, though.
That's a dumbass.
I love titles that are like that. Because I picked that because I was like, okay, well, this is probably going to be an asshole. And then I read it, and I'm like, whoa! I read that first little like paragraph that's just telling you the exposition for the brother, and I'm like, okay, I see what happened here.
To me, a better sting is that it's like, my girlfriend does not understand what the word tradition means. I blew off her tradition to do mine to represent my brother, or
we'll just come
celebrate my brother. That your title sucks, but
it could have been.
You're definitely not the asshole.
Am I the asshole for doing my tradition instead of my girlfriend's?
You're definitely not the asshole. But
not the asshole. Terrible at titles.
Don't go into book naming.
No, or do if you want to mislead some readers to buy your books.
Yeah, whatever. All right. So those were our 2 stories for today. I think we gave you pretty exciting episodes. Try to throw in a little bit of experience, a little bit of fun, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Share our opinions, which hopefully you do like them or don't like them. Either way, we don't care. Tell us about them in the comments.
You made it this far, so
if you think we're bad, tell us in the comments. We just want to say thank you for joining us in the Bandit Saloon. And again, we do know how to spell, but we put the U in saloon because you're part of the show. We want it to be us and you. So welcome to the Bandit Saloon. And at this time, we're heading out and want to say thank you.
Mm-hmm. It's closing time tonight. So good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever it is. And now we got to say hasta luego. Peace out. See you next time.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This protein is so bad.